Hey friends, Happy New Year. So I woke up this morning with an idea that I thought I would just plunge in and follow. As many of you know, last year and some of the year before was a lot about poetry for me. I wrote a lot of poetry, I read a lot of poetry, I shared poetry. And so this morning, this idea came to me that maybe it's time to share poetry in the spoken way because hearing a poem is different from reading a poem. So before I get too scared, because this feels scary and maybe a little silly, maybe a little narcissistic, I decided to just jump in and record myself reading some of my favorite poems and see what kind of gifts come out of that. I have found that when I do the thing that feels scary but insistent, that I do find gifts that I didn't know were ahead for me. So, this first poem was the only one that made sense to read to you. It is by Naomi Shihab. It's one of my favorites. Naomi Shihab is an Arab American poet. Her mother is American and her father is Palestinian, and she grew up between both cultures, both in the Middle East and in Texas. And she brings that experience and that culture into her poetry in ways that are simplistic and complex all at once. And I think that's why I like her so much. This is my favorite of her poems. I have shared it before, but I've never read it out loud to y'all. So this is Kindness by Naomi Shihab. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment, like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go, so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop. The passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead on the side of the road. You must see how this could be you, how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to gaze at bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend. Kindness by Naomi Shihab. Be well and be kind.